Hello everyone, and welcome to the last Cold War Zombies map review. Since Vanguard is about to release in a couple days, I thought I would get this review out so I could completely focus on Vanguard. Let's start the review, I guess. Okay, let's start with visuals and atmosphere. Forsaken has a heavily 80s inspired atmosphere, as it takes place in the same prop American town from the Black Ops Cold War campaign mission called Red Light, Green Light. However, a lot of changes were made to the overall feel of the area, with more prominent neon, a huge dark ether portal in the sky, and a lot of great sound design around the map. If you're near the theater area, you'll hear like ominous noises a lot of times. That's really cool. The round change music is great as usual, and it goes along with the 80s sci-fi vibe. My first time experiencing the map, I found the vibes, I'm saying vibes too much, very similar to Zombies in Spaceland, though Forsaken definitely is its own unique thing after playing it a bunch. The abominations fit the atmosphere great and have a unique feel that fits with the map with their gray and blue color scheme and their colorful laser attack. The map looks even better after setting up Pack-a-Punch, because dark ether crystals will spawn in with with orbs floating around them, with dark ether crystals available. Playable arcade machines also help with this whole like 80s town atmosphere. I really like Forsaken's light and fun 80s sci-fi vibe. Not gonna say atmosphere this time. And while I wouldn't say it's as strong as Mauer or Toten's atmosphere, because Mauer had like this really strong like urgency to it, it fits well with the story, and it's a great way to end the first chapter of the Dark Ether series. The Crystal Axe is probably Cold War's most visually impressive wonder weapon also. I'll give the visuals and atmosphere a 7.5 out of 10. Okay, now on to map flow / gameplay. This is the part the community is most divided on. Forsaken definitely has the most unique layout of any Cold War Zombies map. Playing through the map the first couple times can be incredibly confusing, though eventually you'll get used to it, just like all Zombies maps. There are 4 separate main areas, 5 including the boss fight, all connected together by portals and zip lines. The reason this is controversial is because you can't like do a full map train. You have to use a portal or a zip line to get from one area to the other. There's a central tower you have access to once you open Pack-a-Punch, but the map does always have this feeling of disconnectedness. Did I say that right? You cannot do a full map train like on other maps, and there is no way to remove debris to connect the main 2 town areas. I feel like many others, the map it would flow much better if some debris was removed. I was able to put my thoughts better together after John Rizzo on Twitter talked about how he thought the map was like cobbled together a bunch of areas. The map is still very fun, and the Crystal Axe might be the most powerful weapon in Cold War if you have your skill tier 5 melee upgraded. The animations on it are amazing, and it's able to be pack-a-punched. Well, so is the die now, so every wonder weapon's able to be pack-a-punched in Cold War now. It's a very fun weapon to use, and you'll always feel safe with it until about round 50. The beginning setup is pretty simple after you memorize all the parts to repair the portal. Facing the abomination and lifting the lockdown is simple and helps show the abomination's mechanics for first-time players. There's a mandatory cutscene that has to be activated to continue the Easter egg and get the free Crystal Axe, but it can be skipped immediately, so it doesn't affect the gameplay. Overall, I really love the gameplay for Forsaken, but I feel the layout could be improved with a few minor tweaks, so it's gonna get a 7 out of 10. Okay, now on to Easter egg / story. Spoiler warning. Forsaken continues the strong story beats that happened in Mauer der Toten and the following intel. The map starts with a race to help free Zykov from the Dark Ether. Zykov is immediately outed as as he is the Forsaken. He was the Forsaken the whole time after you play the cutscene. which is different from what a lot of people theorized, that the Forsaken was just pretending to be Zykov. So after that, Maxis immediately teleports to help out Strike Team, and the rest of your time is spent on getting to her to help defeat the Forsaken. The story and Easter egg go very strongly together, helped by the mid-game cutscenes, and lots of dialogue during the Easter egg steps. The Easter egg might be the easiest in Cold War yet, but it's fun to try to do fast, and the steps can be easily remembered, so it's a casual and fun Easter egg, like Cold War Easter eggs usually are, so I like it. I can see how this can be frustrating for people who wanted harder Easter eggs like Black Ops 3 and 4, but I feel like it's a good way to end the Cold War saga of Easter eggs, and maybe for Treyarch's next game they could, maybe even Vanguard, they could pump up the difficulty on the Easter eggs. Although the boss fight is fun, I do think it could have done with some extra difficulty, and I feel like Valentina's boss fight was much stronger. I think the ending cutscenes are perfect and are the best way possible to wrap up the Dark Ether story until we get the direct continuation in Treyarch's next game, probably 2023. I do like how Vanguard is a prequel to set up the Dark Ether lore, so we can have a stronger foundation for when the story directly continues. I think there's a lot of great moments, such as Peck and Kravchenko blowing up, although we know they both survive. And the reveal of Eddie was amazing, and I love his new face model. Although, I do think it's just Primus Richtofen's face, without the mustache. I don't know, they probably made some tweaks. However, I still like Mauer's boss battle better, so I'm gonna give story/Easter egg an 8 out of 10 overall. So, in conclusion, I think Forsaken was the perfect way to end the Cold War Zombies Dark Ether chapter. Excuse me. And I'm looking forward to Treyarch's future work on Vanguard. I am giving Forsaken an overall rating of 8 out of 10. So, now that I've ranked all the maps, if I were to rank them in a tier list, like which ones I like best to worst, or if I go from my most favorite to least favorite, I would go Mauer is my most... I cannot talk. Mauer is my most favorite, Forsaken is my second, Firebase C is my third, and D Machine is my fourth. I know most people would swap Firebase C and D Machine, but I don't know, I just don't like D Machine as much as Firebase C. I've loved this year of zombies and interacting with the zombies community, and I look forward to Vanguard's year in Fong, if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm excited to see Treyarch experiment with zombies and take the Dark Ether story in a more mythological connection, kind of like Chaos. I will be streaming at Vanguard's launch, so tune in if you want. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.